You know, we so often hear about AI and think of it as this far-off, futuristic luxury. But what if that's the wrong way to look at it entirely? What if AI is already a fundamental necessity for our economy? In this explainer, we're going to dig into a really powerful idea, that AI has moved beyond being just a cool piece of tech and is now a critical tool for economic survival and growth. So let's dive right in. This quote right here, it really gets to the heart of our whole discussion. The argument is that we absolutely have to shift our perspective. We need to stop seeing AI as some expensive toy or a niche experiment and start recognizing it for what it truly is, an essential component of our economic infrastructure. And this isn't some guess about the future. This is the reality for businesses trying to compete and, frankly, just survive today.
Okay, so what does it actually mean to call AI a necessity instead of a luxury? This isn't just about semantics, not just a word game. This shift in perspective fundamentally changes everything about how an organization, any organization, should approach technology and plan for its future.
This really breaks down the two mindsets perfectly. On one hand, if you see AI as a luxury, it's kind of like a diamond, right? It's a high-risk, incredibly expensive experiment that seems reserved for the giant corporations with endless cash. But if you see it as a necessity, it's much more like a set of gears in a machine. It becomes a fundamental, operational tool that any business, whether it's a small startup or a massive enterprise, needs to function efficiently and stay competitive. And that perception, that mindset is absolutely crucial because it dictates where you invest your resources, your time, and your energy.
So, a key question is, where does AI create the most value? Interestingly, it's not really in the brainstorming phase, not in coming up with the big idea itself. Now, its real power, its true economic function, kicks in after you have a validated idea and a working prototype. That's when it helps you execute, grow, and scale that idea in a way that's actually viable. Let's walk through this path to growth. It starts with your validated idea, then you build the prototype. Now, this is where AI enters the picture as the engine for optimization. It's not just a single action, it's a continuous process. AI constantly analyzes streams of data from your operations, your supply chain, your customer interactions, everything. It finds efficiencies that a human team could never spot, making these tiny micro-adjustments that slash costs and dramatically boost performance. In a very real sense, AI is the bridge that takes you from a promising prototype to a sustainable, large-scale business.
And this brings us to an absolutely crucial concept, scalability. Now, scalability isn't just about getting bigger. That's easy. It's about getting bigger without falling apart, without your costs spiraling out of control. It's about intelligent growth. And AI is the key to this. It optimizes your resources, it automates countless repetitive tasks, and it can even forecast future demand so you aren't constantly reacting. This is what allows you to grow in a way that actually makes you more efficient, not less. And that is the very definition of responsible, sustainable growth.
So, if AI is the linchpin for sustainable growth, it stands to reason that when you decide to integrate it is a massive strategic decision. This brings us to the huge, almost unfair advantage that early adopters have in the market.
Just look at the benefits for organizations that get on board with AI early. First, they become more resilient. They can handle sudden market shifts because their systems are built to adapt. Second, they get a massive competitive edge by making smarter, faster, data-driven decisions. And, as we just talked about, they can manage their growth responsibly. When you put all of that together, it adds up to the single most important goal for any organization: long-term economic survival.
So here's the bottom line. We are well past the point where using AI just gives you a slight advantage. The thinking now is that it is quickly becoming the primary difference between thriving and failing. The choice of when and how to integrate AI isn't just a tech decision. It's one of the most critical strategic decisions a company can make for its own future.
Now, for our final point, let's zoom all the way out. Because when a technology becomes this essential for individual companies, it doesn't just change those companies, it begins to reshape the entire economic system they operate in.
And this slide really nails the ultimate takeaway from our discussion. AI is no longer just a tool that businesses use. It is rapidly becoming the foundational layer that our entire modern economy is built on. Think about it like electricity or the internet in past eras. AI is the new architecture that is going to enable entirely new business models and redefine how we work for decades to come.
So we'll leave you with this question to really think about. Is the strategy you're considering built for yesterday's luxury or tomorrow's necessity? Are you treating AI as some interesting trend to watch from the sidelines?
Or are you treating it as the foundational tool you need to start building with right now just to survive? Because truly, how you answer that question will define your place in the economy of the very near future.